make the jumping enemy to move horizontally, we need to define a range where the jumping enemy may move to. So here we're going to type public float horizontal range. Let's set that as 5 for now. If we save this and go to Unity, we should be able to define, by looking at the game window, what is the maximum range for that enemy. So we're going here, and we're going to move the aspect ratio to 9:16, and we're going to move the jumping enemy to the Y position 0, so it's here, and change the X until it reaches the limits of the screen. So that's going to be -4 here in the left and 4 in the right. Okay, so you can move back to 0, 8, 0. And in the jumping enemy, we're going to set the horizontal range to 4. Actually, it's horizontal rage. That's not the case. It's not that angry. So horizontal range, let's also set 4F here. Save that, go to Unity. Then it's going to change here to have a proper name. There we go. And it's going to be 4. Okay. And what we want to do here is, we want to get the exact moment where the velocity of the enemy switches from a positive value, so when it's moving up, and then goes to a negative value, so it's going to move down. Okay, so what we're going to do here is, we're going to make a variable that is going to be private bool moving down. Okay, and in the beginning we're going to set moving down to be true, okay, as it's simply going to fall. And in the update method, we're going to type, actually, when we do this jumping force here, when we apply the jumping, we're going to set moving down to be false, okay, because it's moving up. And in the update method, what we're going to do is, if moving down equals to false, so that means it's moving up, we need to check if the velocity is now negative. So we're going to type if getComponent of type rigid body dot velocity.y is lesser than 0f. That means we are now moving down. So that is the exact moment where the velocity of the jumping enemy has changed. So we set moving down to be true. And now we need to set a target horizontal position. So here, private float target horizontal position. And here in the update we set target horizontal position equals 2. How do we make a random number? It's very simple in Unity. We can type random.range, which receives 2 parameters, the minimum value and the maximum one. The minimum value is going to be minus horizontal range, and the maximum is going to be positive horizontal range. No need for a sign here. We just type it like this. Okay, and now that we have the target horizontal position, we should make the jumping enemy to move to that position. We do the linear interpolation. So we're going to type transform.position equals to a new vector 3. Okay. Actually, we should type vector3.lerp. So first of all, the original position, which is transform.position. Second of all, we need to define the target position, and we should define a variable here to make this simpler. So vector3 target position is going to be a new vector3. We want x to be the target horizontal position. Y is going to be whatever position we are right now. We don't want to change that. So transform.position.y. And finally, transform.position.z. Okay? So we don't change y or z, just the horizontal position. Now, finally, let's continue. Transform.position is a lerp that starts from target position. It ends in target position. And now we need to define the time component, so time.delta time. And we can also multiply that by speed. Okay, so let's change this here as well. We're going to add a public float speed, and let's use 3f, for example. Okay, now we save that. Let's make a few comments here. Get the exact moment where the jumping enemy moves down. And here, moves the jumping enemy horizontally. Let's put move. Okay, move the jumping enemy horizontally. Let's give this a try. We're going to save that, go to Unity, let's wait for the compilation to be finished, and after this is done, we're going to press play. Okay, so it's going to look like this, okay? And you see now if it reaches the moment where it changes, it swaps positions, okay? You can do this differently. You might want to use different logics if you want, okay? Maybe you want to change the position as it's moving up so it has a smoother experience, but this works just fine. And quite honestly, I like the surprise of knowing that the enemy is going to move to my position, okay? It's going to work just fine, okay? Just leave it like this and it's going to be okay. And one thing that you might want to care about is we just want the jumping enemy to move in the X and the Y axis, not on the Z one. When we need to care about this if we have any other collisions here. So let's select the jumping enemy, and we're going to freeze the position on Z, and we can also freeze the rotation as well. Okay, this is not going to be necessary. So this is it. We have a working jumping enemy.